Hello. I wanted to answer a question that we commonly get, which is about frozen versus fresh meat. So we offer fresh chicken when we're processing that from May through October or November. And we slaughter and process our chicken on Wednesdays. So that's fresh Wednesday afternoons through Saturday, end of day Saturday, May through November, pretty much straight through. We don't do fresh chicken in the winter because it's not good for the birds of the pasture, since we're actually raising the birds on pasture. So that's the chicken side. We're allowed to, slaughter and process our own chicken. On the pork and beef, we have to take that into a USDA slaughterhouse, and that's a bit more complicated for us to provide fresh pork and beef, just with the logistics of loading up animals on a weekly basis and making that trip to and from the slaughterhouse to drop off animals and to pick up meat and to work with the slaughterhouse on all that. So that logistically that just isn't really possible for us right now. So that's kind of the reason there on the pork and beef. And I hope that it kind of explains why you see what you see at Whiffletree in that regard. On the fresh versus frozen thing, basically the concern there, or kind of why fresh is considered superior, is because when the water freezes in meat, it expands, and that can damage the cell structure and therefore the texture of meat. But when it comes to dense meats like chicken, pork, beef, they're such dense meats that really it's very hard to tell. If you have sort of, say, like a really light fish, then that would definitely be noticeable in that it would be kind of mushy, and the texture would be like really affected. So we work with, just from my own personal experience, like I've had a really hard time telling the difference from, cooking fresh or frozen on chicken, pork, and beef. And we work with a lot of really top chefs who, have been really happy with our frozen chicken, pork, and beef, and turkey too. Um, and for that reason, basically just like the cell structure on those dense meats is a kind of a different thing. Um, so yeah, I hope that kind of answers some of your questions on why you see what you see when you come into our farm store or a neighborhood delivery. But that does bring up the other good topic is, we offer the fresh chicken in the farm store. We don't do that for our neighborhood deliveries. And the reason for that is just food safety. I feel a lot more comfortable transporting and dropping off frozen product that has a lot more buffer in terms of food safety, like staying cold, as cold as it ought to, than I would fresh. That would just be a lot more sensitive, a lot less room for error, a lot less buffer in terms of drop off times and pickup times and times for customers to get it back to their refrigerator. So I just don't think that's wise, and has more problems. So that's the logic there as well. So yeah, please ask whatever questions you have, and if you have any other thoughts or feedback. But I wanted to answer that. That's kind of a somewhat common question. I know people who are coming from like a grocery store experience, used to seeing working with the fresh meat. And then when you come to a farm store, you mostly seen frozen or freezers, and kind of explaining all of our thoughts and considerations there. Also, I thought it would just be more fun for you to see all these happy pigs here that are taking a nap here in the warm sun and enjoying this nice setup they've been given here. So anyway, that's the end of that explanation. Again, let me know if you got any questions or whatever. And thanks again for supporting us and considering all these kinds of things when it comes to working with local regenerative food.